Hi there. If you want to get a close-up look at some of your favorite Hollywood stars, then this is the place to be. But these stars are special. Every single one of them is made out of wax. Welcome to the MovieLand Wax Museum. Here's a scene from one of my favorite movies, The Wizard of Oz. Hi there, Tin Man. Did you get that heart yet? I guess not. You know, some of these figures are so convincing. Well, you could actually mistake them for the real thing. When one thing looks exactly like something else, it can lead to some pretty hilarious situations. And that's just what happens to the unsuspecting characters in this book. Florence and Eric take the cake.
Florence and Eric Take the Cake by Jocelyn Wild. Read by Julia Child. This is Rosemary Cottage where Granny and Grandpa Mutton live. It's summer vacation, and Florence and her little brother Eric have come for a visit. This morning, Granny is very busy. The ladies from the little nibbling knitting circle are meeting here, and Granny must tidy up. Shall we help you with the flowers, Granny? That would be kind of you, dear. Florence and Eric want to help Granny get ready. Mother has told them to make sure they do everything they can for Granny and Grandpa. Just then, the telephone rings. Hello? It is Miss Lavinia Bleating. She's made her heavenly angel food cake for the knitting circle this afternoon, but now she's come down with a most frightful cold and can't come. Oh, take care, my dear, says Granny. What if I sent Florence and Eric for the cake? It's about time they had some fresh air. Good idea. I'll leave it in the hall, Miss Bleating replies. Tell Florence to walk straight in. The door will be open. Now remember, don't talk to strangers. Miss Lavinia has spent all morning icing the cake with her favorite marshmallow frosting. At last, it's finished. She leaves the cake in the hall and goes upstairs to lie down. Achoo! 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 Poor Miss Lavinia doesn't feel well at all. A moment later, Lavinia's sister Muriel comes home. She's been out shopping for a new hat to wear to the Ba of Seville, her favorite opera. Muriel is going to town to see it this evening. Oh, visit of beauty, you are my heart's delight. Muriel loves the opera and has a very fine voice herself. She keeps it in perfect pitch by practicing in the bathtub every day. La 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 la. So, when the front door opens, she doesn't hear it. Florence and Eric have come for the cake. Eric sees the box on the hall table, lifts it down, and takes it to Florence. Florence checks to make sure the cake's inside and puts it in her basket. She carries it herself. Eric might drop it. Promptly at 4:30, the taxi arrives to take Muriel to the station. Heavens, is that the time? In 2 shakes, she's dressed and ready to go. I'm off, Lavinia dear. There is just her hat to put on. And what an elegant hat it is. Why, those cherries look almost real. She puts it firmly on her head. Oh, no! What a mess! This isn't her hat at all. It's a cake. A horrid, sloppy, sticky cake. Muriel lets out a very loud scream. Meanwhile, the ladies of the knitting circle have been very busy all afternoon, knitting sweaters for the poor orphan lambs. And now it is time for some refreshments. Everyone is looking forward to a nice cup of tea and a slice of dear Lavinia's cake. It looks almost too good to eat. But, oh dear, how tough the cake is. How dry. Florence, dear, go ask Grandpa for the saw. Mrs. Woolly Jumper has just broken a tooth on one of the cherries, and Mrs. Scragg is choking. There's no doubt about it. The cake is uneatable. But Florence thinks it makes a lovely hat, and Eric agrees.
I guess you could call that book a case of mistaken identity. Now, you might think that a cake could never look like a hat. Well, don't be so sure. Cakes come in some pretty surprising shapes and sizes. So how about it? If you could order a cake that looked like, well, absolutely anything, what would you choose?
I'd have a big, very big cheeseburger, the largest I could find and the most juiciest. I would love a big cake that looks like a basketball. I'd take a pig. I'd like a big blue sports car.
At Hanson's Cakes, there are bakers who can whip up cakes to match your wildest dreams. Today, the Hanson artists are working on 4 spectacularly edible masterpieces. See if you can guess what they'll be. They start out with butter, flour, and eggs, like any other cake. But at Hanson's, the more batter, the better. Chocolate. Here's where the real magic begins, at the sculpting tables, where these masterpieces really begin to take shape. Baking at Hanson's is more than just mixing and cooking. It's a creative art. Watch these confections come to life. This one is beginning to look familiar. Mmm, that frosting looks delicious. I know what this is.